Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, May 6th of 2025, and I go live at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays, although this is a premiere. So I will be in the chatting with you today. This is an exciting day, so exciting, because our new annual catalog is launched today. We also have two new kits along with new online products. So very exciting. Today, I'm going to be using the new bundle called Impressions Abloom. You can get the bundle and save 10%. This is also part of a suite. You will only find this online in my online store and not in the new catalog. I'm going to give you a few tips about the stamps because it is a two-step stamp, but you don't have to use the two-step. I'm also going to show you the dies and show you some little tricks to be able to, or how to use the dies to get some extra detail in your flowers. And we're going to make a card with the technique called triple time stamping. And you may have done this before. If not, it is a lot of fun, and it's a quick and easy card, but yet it kind of gives a wow factor, or at least I think it does. So, and then at the end, we'll do a little barn chat where I'll tell you some things that are going on at Rustic Barn Cards. And if you have any questions along the way, I'll answer those during the barn chat, which is at the end of my video, which is a little bit more relaxed, because right now we want to concentrate on stamping, right? If this is your first time here, welcome. Welcome to all of you returning. Please click that like or thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. And if you click that bell, you'll be notified when I go live or when I'm posting a video. All right. And hey, I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Southeast Iowa. So let's turn the camera down and let's begin. Okay, well, the first thing I want to do is just talk to you just a few seconds about the Impressions Abloom. So although it is a two-step stamp, you can actually stamp the images singular separately and have nice looking flowers. Now you have this flower here, it looks like a daisy, and here is the one that, you can do the two-stepping, or you can just stamp this. And then you have a larger flower, and then you have a small flower. So these go together, and these go together. But again, you can just do it separately, and I'll show you some examples. And you also have the leaf that you can stamp by itself, or you could make it have more depth by doing the two-step stamping. And then you have the little circles of the flowers. Some are solid, and then some have a little more, images in there. And then you have some stem. You have a stem, one stem here, and you have I appreciate you so very much. I appreciate you for being there. Thanks so very much. Thanks for being there. So I like the sentiments that they have. This is photopolymer, and then the dies that go with it. You have two framing dies, and one cuts out a oval by itself, and then the other one has two pieces. So one cuts out two pieces, so you can you can use this as your oval, but if you want to do some framing, you can actually then frame that, and you could also cut it out in two different colors, so you have a different frame. But the when you cut the one that has this ring here, then the oval is a little bit smaller, so it does not layer as well on this as if you cut the other one. So this here is a solid piece, right there. And then this one cuts out both of these, but you can use this, or you can use this ring and then cut out the other oval, and then you can layer it. Okay, so that is that. And then you have some extra. You have a leaf, and if you stamp that, it looks like this. So you have some extra dies besides the ones that cut out the images. You also have two stems. You have some smaller flowers, and you have two extra leaves, and then you have for the image that is on the stamp set. And then I wanted to show you these. So here is the daisy, or I call it a daisy. It looks like a daisy to me. And I just stamped it once using this stamp right here. I didn't stamp over it. And then I stamped the circle with crumb cake. And I used the one that has a little more definition. And then I took this and I cut it out. Okay. But if you put these two together, so you take this and you lay this on here, then you take and match this up, which is kind of hard to do in the holding it. You match this up and you run both of them through there, then you're going to get these details on your stamped image. So it gives you a little more detail. And then, let's see. I also stamped, I used the large and I stamped it by itself. And you could easily just die cut this out and use it. Of course, you want to stamp the center. And then I did two-stepping here. So this is, I stamped it once, and then I stamped it again. I stamped off and then stamped on. And again, I could, here they are. I could use both of these, and I can put them right over here, line it up, and I could run it through, and you would have the extra little lines in here that gives it a little more depth. Or if I didn't want that, then I could just use this, and I could go ahead and line it up, and then run it through and cut it out just like that. So you have lots of different options. Now what I did for these two images, and I think the larger one is really easy to line up. I had the two of the kind of, I call them medium. You got the small, medium, and large flower. What I did is that I made a little mark on both of those, just to make it easier to line it up when I want to do the two-step stamping. All right, so again, I just wanted to show you have lots of options with those dies with Impressions Abloom. I'm using Impressions Abloom for my May card club, and although it is a subscription, you can always sign up just for 1 month, and there's information in the description. All right, let me show you the card that we're going to make today. I said triple time technique, and this is the card using one of our new in colors, Timid Tiger, and then I stamped inside also. So that's what we're going to make today, so we'll get started. I'm going to be using several inks. I'm going to be using Crushed Curry, Timid Tiger, Crumb Cake, and Lemon Lime Twist, and also black for our sentiment. So we're going to start off with a card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and we're using the Timid Tiger in color. And then I'm going to be using some other Timid Tiger cardstock, and that is at 3 1/4 by 4.5 and 2 1/4 by 3.5. So if you wanted to write those down, you can. And then we need some basic white. So I have several layers of basic white. We have 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to be, we're going to use it on our outside layer of our card front. And then I have a 3 by 4 1/4, another basic white 2 by 3 1/4, and then basic white 3 3/4 by 5, and it's going to be our inside layer. Okay, and then we do need a sentiment strip of basic white, which is 3/4 by 2. So I hope that you can see those. Maybe I can bring them down so you can see it a little bit better. Let's see. Maybe that just made it worse. So there's the Timid Tiger. And then here is the basic white measurements. And then we're going to be using Timid Tiger, just a regular card base, along with a basic white strip for our sentiment. There we go. 3/4 by 2. All right. Okay, hope you got those down, and if you're not, you can go back and look at it. All right, so let's just go ahead and we'll fold our card base in half. Get it lined up. Grab my bone folder. And then I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to come back out, set that aside, and then we're going to bring in these basic white, and we're going to go ahead and I'll put that right here. And we're going to go ahead and pull out the inside layer because we don't need the inside layer. And I know it's the smaller one, so this one that's smaller, I'm going to lay it aside because we will get to that because that's our inside layer. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer our 4 by 5 1/4. Then I'm going to layer our 3 by 4 1/4. And then our 2 and 3 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put just a little bit of glue, a little bit of adhesive, I guess I should say, not liquid glue, but adhesive. You could use a repositioning or any kind, but you just want a little bit. So, and I think that I'm going to get a different adhesive because I do like Stampin' Sale Plus, but sometimes it doesn't always work with me. So I'm just going to bring in this. This is permanent also, but I'm just going to put a little, just a little bit there. And then I'm going to line up this next layer of basic white, which is 3 by 4 1/4. Then I'm just going to put just a little bit of adhesive, and I'm going to line up this. Try to get it straight. All right, and now I am ready to do some stamping. I'm going to start with Timid Tiger. I'm going to go ahead and ink up, which I call the medium flower. And, you know, I'm just going to randomly stamp this. Full strength. And I am going to do the second. I am going to go ahead and add the second. Do two-step stamping, I guess I'm trying to say. And I think I'll just put those, just 4 there. Now, if you noticed, I think because of the layers, it didn't stamp on over here. I could try to go back and restamp, but my luck, it'll make it worse. So I'm going to come back with, because we're going to do 2-step stamping, so I'm going to come back with our other image, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp off. And then I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And we'll just hope for the best. And put a little pressure and hold it and straight up. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp off. and kind of get that lined up. And again, press that and hold it. I'm going to get off some of that extra ink. Okay, ink that up. And then let's go ahead and line this up. So we have some there, and it's going to look okay because we're going to be adding more, so don't worry. There we go. I am going to try to catch that down here, so I'm going to ink this up and see if... All right. Okay, now let's go to our next color. I'm going to go ahead and just fill those centers in of our flowers, and I've just used the, I'm using crumb cake, and I am going to stamp off because I do not want it to be real dark, so that's why I'm stamping off. Let's try that again. Because I want most of the focal point to be in those Timid Tiger ink flowers. All right. Now let's go ahead and get the next color. I'm going to come back with crushed curry. I did 2-step on the sample card, but I think I'm just going to do the 1-step. And this is the small flower, so we'll just stamp it over here. And maybe I will need to do the 2-step. We will decide. And put one there, and then I think I'll put one right down here. Since I haven't marked this one, then I'm taking the stamp and I'm just laying it on top of the stamped image, and then I can pick it up, and that will make it easier for me to be able to line up. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp on. And this isn't exact science on these flowers, so don't worry if you don't get it exactly. And I stamped off, and then we'll line this up the best we can. Ink this up, stamp off, and I'm bringing it down so you can see. And there we go. Inking it up. And crushed curry, if I didn't say the color. And now we'll go ahead and do the centers. And now I'm going to come back with the same small flower, but I'm going to go ahead and do a few in the Timid Tiger ink. So whoops, I want that full strength actually, so I'm going to ink that up again. And I think I'll just put one partial going off there. And then let's have we'll put one about right here. It really doesn't matter. And yeah, I think that is good. We'll just stop right there and go ahead and bring in the middle and then stamp off on it, and then line this up. And so we'll just add those two, and I'll go ahead and fill in the centers. And now I'm going to bring in the leaf that has, you can see details of the leaf, and we're going to bring in our lemon lime ink, and we're going to go ahead and do that in full strength, and we'll just kind of randomly stamp the leaves. Maybe one right here. So this is kind of fun because you're just going to, you know, you're just going to go ahead and just randomly stamp. And let's see, let's just do one. Let's turn it and come in this way with it. How's that? And maybe one like that. I'm going to come back with the crushed curry, and I'm going to grab the other leaf. And this one doesn't just plain, it actually is for like the two-step stamping. We're going to go ahead and ink this up in crushed curry, and then I'm just going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp on. So we'll just do a few of these. So stamp, ink it up, then stamp off. And let's put one down here. And let's turn that around like that. And let's see, maybe one right here. And just kind of looking at it, you know, I see I've still got some little white space that I can fill up. And I think I want maybe right up here. And then we're going to quit for this. Then I'm going to come back in with crumb cake, and we're going to use that larger center of the flowers. And we're just going to use this full strength, and we're just going to kind of fill in. We're just going to kind of fill in where we see some white spaces. So that's kind of what we're doing with this, kind of using it to fill in. Maybe over here. Touch there. Let's see, maybe right there. Down here. And maybe I can get one right there. And yeah, I think that's good. I think that'll be, we'll just stop right there. We're going to lay this aside for just a few minutes. Just lay it right over here. And I'm going to bring in our basic white sentiment, which is 3/4 by 2. And we'll go ahead and bring in our Memento Black ink. And we'll go ahead and stamp our sentiment, which is thanks. And I'm going to make a little banner. And probably doesn't need to be quite this long. So we will go ahead and just stamp it over here on the left. Just like that. And I need to leave that out because we also want to stamp inside our card, and we're going to stamp so very much. So we'll go ahead and ink up so very much. And we will place that about right here. And now we're finished with the black ink. But we're going to come back with that Timid Tiger, and we're going to add, I'm going to bring in our medium stamp, and it would be the one that if you're doing the two-stepping that you would fill in the middle. But we're just going to use it by itself. And I'm just going to ink that up, and we're going to place that right here in the lower right-hand corner. And it kind of looks like a daisy. So see, you can use just one stamp. You don't have to use both and do the two-stepping if you don't want to. And then we're going to go ahead and do crumb cake and fill in that middle. And you have two choices. You have just that plain solid center, or you have the one that has a little bit of definition there. So we'll use that. And let's just go ahead and make it darker, full strength for that, for inside. All right. Let's go ahead and bring in our card base. And let's just go ahead and put this inside our card. And I've added liquid glue, so we're just going to go ahead and place this right inside. I made this a little bit smaller than some inside layers because I wanted that nice orange to show, the Timid Tiger cardstock to show. All right, now let's see the fun begin, okay? So we're going to take these apart, we hope. There we go. All right, and now I am going to layer this first, the largest one, on the front of our card base. I just love this technique. Let me know in the comments if you have done this before. Now I'm going to open this up like this. Make sure this is the front, and it is. And line it up the best I can. Okay. All right. And now lay that aside, and we're going to be bringing in our Timid Tiger cardstock layers. Okay. So we're going to be using that large. The first one is the 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then we have 2 of these, so naturally I'm going to be using this. So I'm going to go ahead and layer this up. On the Timid Tiger cardstock. Just like this. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer this together. So you want to keep these in the same order so they'll match up when you take them apart. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive on the back. And I'm going to place this right in here. And you can see how, a little adhesive on my finger. And there we go. All right, now, hopefully I got that straight. Yeah. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add it here. Now, of course, you could also pop up these layers with dimensionals. So that's something else that you could do. And of course, every time you do this, it's going to be a little bit different because you're not going to be able to stamp them exactly the same. Get that over just a little bit. Make sure it's straight. All right. And so, I mean, we're not finished, but what do you think? Isn't that neat how with the Timid Tiger cardstock frame, how neat that looks? I just love this technique. All right. So we're going to put this right here. I do not know why. Your strip does not need to be that long. Let me find my scissors. And I do want to make a banner. We'll just... And I think I can still... The trimmer would probably be better because I'm not very good at just eyeing that straight. But so I just cut in the middle and then come on each side to make a banner. I am by no means an expert on these banners, I can tell you that. But I do like making them. And then sometimes, there we go. All right, push that aside, and we are going to go ahead and pop this up with some dimensionals. Then we're going to add a little bow, too. So we'll just turn this over and add a couple. We're going to be using some new embellishments, and again, these embellishments are online. They're not in the catalog. So I'm going to place this just a little bit because I'm going to put a bow about right there. And then I'm going to bring in, excuse me, I'm going to bring in our white, and this is, I think it's online, but I believe, maybe I can see, yeah, it's about 1/4 wide, so it's not real wide, and the end's kind of frayed, so I'm just going to cut that off, and then we'll make a bow, and we will add it to our card. Of course, you could use any colors. You don't have to use the same colors that I am using, so it's kind of fun to, to use different colors. And you could use this technique with any stamp set, but I wanted to use it today with the same stamp set that I'm going to use for my May Club. So I'm using Impressions Abloom. Only I'm going to be using the beautiful paper that comes with it. And let's see, I think that will work right there. So let me grab some glue dots, and we'll just bring the glue dot to the bow. And whoop, that's not where I wanted it. I want to go just a little bit higher, just like that. Okay, now let's bring in these beautiful gems. These are brand new as of today, and the Impressions Abloom bundle is new today, May 6th. And these are the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. And so aren't they gorgeous? You have kind of the Pretty in Pink. Pretty in Pink is here, and Strawberry Slush. But then this first row is kind of I don't know. I didn't look it up to see, but it looks kind of a little bit like crumb cake, but I'm sure it's not crumb cake. But we're going to use the ones that look like they're brown. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. We'll place one right here, and we'll place one down here. And we'll just put one right there. All right, so this is our card today. Thanks so very much. Let's look at the sample card that I started with. I didn't put any embellishments on the sample card, but I will. So, same colors. So we have a medium daisy here, or a medium flower here, and we don't have a medium. We have it down a little bit farther. So, it's not going to be exactly. But I like the large center circle stamp that I can fill in with everything. And before we go to barn chats, let me show you this beautiful paper. I did not use this paper today, but this is the paper that matches. And you can see that I've been designing the May Card Club. And then on the back, and then I love this paper here because I love purple. Even though red is my favorite color, but I also like purple. And I also like orange, so I think I like all the colors, actually. So anyway, some really, really pretty. Look at this one here. And then the back is not as busy as the front. All right, but I wanted to show you that gorgeous paper, and it also comes with some other elements if you want to get the whole suite. Okay, let me turn the camera back up, and let's go ahead and finish up with barn chats. All right, it is time for barn chats. All right. I hope you like the triple time stamping today, and I hope everyone's doing well. The best way to know what is going on at Rustic Barn Cards is to subscribe to my newsletter, and you can subscribe by looking in the description of this video, and you'll find information. Again, it's an exciting day. The catalog, our annual catalog, is live starting today. We have brand new online exclusives. We have 2 new kits, and they are awesome. I know one is about smiling, but I don't have it right in front of me, but I have posted it to my Facebook page, Rustic Barn Cards, so you can get the information there on the kits. But there's kits online and the new annual catalog. So, and 5 new in colors. So that is exciting too. Um, and for my club in May, so you can sign up if you want to. If you're not a club member, you'd like to take part in my club. It is a subscription. Um, it is $44 a month, and that includes shipping. You sign up by the 15th of the month, and then it ships out the last week. So it'll ship out the last week of May, and you receive a video summary, how to make the cards. You get a tutorial for each card, and the Make and Take kit is for 6 cards, 2 each of 3 designs, along with 22 to $25 of product each month. So again, there's information, but I am going to be using the bundle Impressions Abloom. You really do need, I mean, if you want your cards to look like mine, you're going to need this bundle, and you can add that on if you would like, or order it on your own. I will be using some of this beautiful paper, so you will get some of this paper in your package that comes along with some other items. Don't want to give all the surprises away. If you are a club member and you don't want to see the sneak peek of the cards, then don't look, because I'm going to show you the 3 cards, and of course you will make 2 of each. So here is the first one. I appreciate you. And if you notice this embossing, and I didn't talk about this today, but this the suite, the Impressions Abloom, comes in a suite, and it comes with a flower, his flower garden, I believe, embossing folder. So I use that, and of course this will be embossed for you. So any of the die cuts and embossing I will do for you. And then inside it also has some embossing. But if you have to stamp first, like you have to stamp, this is fine, but if you're going to be die cutting, you have to do your own stamping and then die cutting. I'll give you the cardstock for that, of course. All right, and then our second card is a fun fold, and it's called, I believe it's called a tri-fold hidden card. And so it opens up like this, and then there is another little door there. So you write your message inside, and then it folds and goes in an envelope. So there you go. And then our third card is a thank you card, but you could use whatever image, whatever you want. And then inside I've used some more of the strawberry slush cardstock and the designer series paper for the inside too. So those are cards for our card club for May. And if you want to just give it a try for 1 month, you can do that too. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I am going to be having a catalog launch that you'll hear about. I'm working on that. I'll be gone for about 4 days, so I'm not sure about next Tuesday, but we'll see. I have a graduation to go to, so I'm going to go down and be visiting my sister and for a few days, end of this week and part of next week. So I hope all of you are well. Happy stamping. I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Take care and bye for now. See you soon.